And I love it when makeup artists go, I'm just going to give you a lip that looks like you've just been kissing and you've been slightly bitten on your lip. Yum. Hi, Allure. I'm Nicole Kidman, and I am here to break down some of my iconic looks for you.
It's your doctor, Dr. Lewicki.
I don't think he's actually seen me before.
Days of Thunder. Oh my God, I was so excited. I couldn't believe it. I met Tony Scott, I met Tom Cruise, I met everyone at Paramount. I was like, this is big time. We went to Daytona and we started shooting, and it was spring break, and I'm like, gosh, this is America? Why did I straighten my hair? I love my hair there. That is my natural hair. Isn't that crazy? So little girls out there, embrace the curl. Do not follow in my steps and straighten your hair. I look like my daughters. Well, that makes sense. There's certain things you can get that when you blow dry and scrunch your hair and you just, the curl comes back in abundance. I can do that to my hair still, but it needs to be kind of humid, and I need to use the right product. But it was very humid down there. Thus, I have very wild curly hair.
I can't believe it. I'm in love.
Moulin Rouge.
Was working with Baz Luhrmann on Vogue Australia what got you the role of Satine?
I think that sort of was part of the thing that got me the job. I'd seen Strictly Ballroom in Australia, so I'd reached out to him and just said I really loved it. Not just the film, I'd seen the stage production. And we'd stayed in contact, and then this photo shoot with Vogue came up, and then he came and saw me in the Blue Room. The combination of the photo shoot and us just staying in contact, and then the performance in the Blue Room, and he sent me a dozen long-stemmed red roses in a white box, very Baz, and he said, will you be my Satine? I said, but I can't sing. We did a 3-month workshop, and over the process of that 3-month workshop, we danced, we sang, we workshopped the script. Baz was trying things. So yeah, we did live singing, which was terrifying, but Ewan and I had rehearsed so much. So by the time you get on set, it's like, oh, we've done this before. We did a lot of makeup tests. Some of them are even in the film, because a lot of the way in which he works, which I've used as well now, when you do a makeup test, rather than wasting time just standing there, you actually create the character on film, you watch it back, you play around. Hair color was explored, costuming, everything. And I've subsequently seen the show on Broadway and seen other people playing Satine, and it's just fantastic to have been the originator of the character. I just loved being Satine. I'd go back anytime.
My life has been stolen from me. I'm living in a town I have no wish to live in. I'm living a life I have no wish to live.
The hours. What's there to say about Virginia Woolf? I think it took 2.5, 3 hours, yeah, to do the prosthetics. Obviously, they'd be able to do that a lot. I think they'd be able to do that far more quickly now, but that was, it was old school time. So that was that. And I would just sit there and I would listen to music, or I would listen to her speaking, or I would listen to, and there's not very many recordings of Virginia, I would just sort of have to zone out, which is kind of a great way to start the day, honestly, because you just have to start in a relaxed state of mind. And strangely enough, I also would roll my own cigarettes, because that's what Virginia smoked all the time. And I have this really weird thing where if my character smokes, this happened with Lucille when I played Lucille Ball as well, I smoke for the character, and then the minute I'm done, I don't touch a cigarette, and I have no desire. We're character actors, and people always go, oh, well, she did the nose or this and that, but that's our job as an actor. We're there not to present ourselves, we're there to present a character. Met Gala. Magical dress.
After an 11-year break from attending the Met Gala, what brought you back?
Anna. Anna will always bring me back. I've known Anna pretty much my whole career. I love her and I will do anything to support her. And also I just thought this was the most glorious gown to wear. You know, it felt really, really special and celestial, and it was easy to wear and it was fun. I really liked the braids too. Italo, who did my hair, decided on the braids. I'm actually I go with the flow. I'm like, okay, what are we doing? Show me, mold me, make me, because I'm not the expert. The other people around me are the expert. I'll weigh in, but I'm very interested in always broadening and expanding what I think. Because if you stay only in your lane and what you like, then you're going to stay exactly the same. That's great for some people. It doesn't really interest me.
He's just so intense. I mean, he talks about our relationship in terms of centuries. Sometimes we just stay up all night.
Practical magic. The genesis and the root of it is the sisters. And then that expanded into the witchcraft and the magic of the film. But there's an emotional core, which is the sisters. And I love Sandy. And so the natural kind of sisterhood that we have, I think, is reflected in the film. It was just a really fun film to make as well. I remember we would throw parties and we would hang out a lot. We would go and dance salsa. I threw a party once and it was sort of Moroccan themed and we had all sorts of, we just had fun. And I think the fun, you feel that in the film. And then you feel the strength of the sisters. She's just Gillian. I created Gillian, the red-headed witch. Weren't you burned for that?
There's talks of a practical magic too.
There is. It's definitely coming to fruition rapidly. Hold on to your husbands.
Hang on to your husbands, girls.
Academy Awards. I was actually doing Eyes Wide Shut at the time. I was in the UK, and so I would go to Paris on the weekends a lot, and that's how I built my relationship with John Galliano. And I didn't realize that it was sort of such a bold move for the Academy Awards at that time. It just seemed like an exquisite gown and creation. It was made for me and made for my body. It was just fantastic, and I still have it. I own it. And I love it when makeup artists go, I just want to give you a lip that looks like you've just been eating berries. Isn't that nice? Or the other one is, I'm just going to give you a lip that looks like you've just been kissing and you've been slightly bitten on your lip. Yum. And it was mesh down the back. When you see the dress, your jaw drops. All of the embroidery, it's so intricately, beautifully made. It just seemed like, wow. Because I grew up with a grandmother who was a seamstress. My mother was a seamstress. They could embroider, they could knit, they could sew, they could do everything. I was the child that had the couture clothes, but the couture was made by my grandmother and my mother. And I would have little fur collars, and I would have little coats, and I would wear gloves, and I would wear little hats, and I was that child. And it makes me feel loved. This is the weirdest thing. So it makes me feel loved when I'm standing there in a fitting and you're putting a dress on me and you're fitting it to me and you care. Because I had a grandmother and a mother that's how they express their love to me. So there's some deep psychology for you. Being the Ricardos, inspiring, like a high wire act because it's Aaron Sorkin's dialogue, mixing in with, I'm not playing Lucy, I'm playing Lucille Ball, very different, but it was the biggest challenge really of my career, and it was so difficult and it was so fulfilling. It's so beautifully written, that role, and to have been nominated for it and acknowledged in that way, I'm so grateful, because the work that it took technically as well as emotionally to combine the two was enormous. There was a physical transformation, but Aaron did not want that. He's like, I want to see you. I'm not interested in the, oh my gosh, we've pulled off the feat of making her look exactly like Lucy. He wanted the essence of her. So vocally, we committed to that. But in terms of the actual look, he's like, that's not what I'm looking for. Otherwise, I'd do it all with AI, We're not doing that. Lucy Arnaz is an amazing support through it. And she was a lifeline for me. And she gave me so much confidence when we first screened it and people accepted me in the role. And I remember walking into, I think it was in Westwood, and there'd been the first screening of it. I literally started crying. So that shows you how much pressure I felt. And, you know, she was of that era where you dressed. You were a lady, you know, you came in, but boy, as I always say, she was the smartest person in the room, male or female. I'm just grateful I got to play her. We love you, Lucille Ball. You carved the way for us. We come to this place for magic. The AMC commercial. Are we still talking about that? I'm very, very glad to be able to say that we did that during COVID. The people that did it with me, there was Billy Ray who wrote it and the cinematographer who directed it, he and his brother. We all just were like, okay, we can do this. Quick, buckle down. We'll do it in a day, and let's do this because we owe this to our industry and to cinema. And that was that. And it was the purest of intentions. It kind of took on a life of its own, thank God. I never thought it would take on this life, but I'm grateful that it did. It was a Michael Kors suit. My stylist, Julia von Bohm, was just like, here, this is it. And there was no sort of overthinking of anything. It was just very matter-of-fact and direct. And that was that.
Have you seen your outfit immortalized as a Loungefly backpack?
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding? That's amazing. I'm still deeply connected to AMC Theatre. I go, I pay money, and I go and I see my commercial in the AMC, but then I always go and see movies. I'm a paying member of the public who goes to the movie theaters with huge enthusiasm, and I love it.
How did you get in here?
I came in through the door. I'm Masha. 9 Perfect Strangers.
How would you describe Masha?
What do you want to know? Masha is a healer with her own trauma and her own troubles, but she's actually there to help. That was really fun to play. We also shot that during COVID in Byron Bay, and the show has that dream quality, and the whole thing was like a dream. It was Noriko, my makeup artist, who's Japanese, was like, I really think this is the feel, and it felt right. Then we slowly put together the clothes and the movement and vocally. It's not like it happens where you're mapping it out. It's more like it starts to unfurl. It gets discovered as you're in the rehearsal process, and the whole thing just eventuates that way.
How is Masha reinventing herself for season 2? Does she have completely different hair?
She needs to, for a reason. It's a crazy ride. Very different to the things I've done. Thank you for having me, Alua. I had the best time doing this shoot. Thank you for existing. I get lots of tips from you, so keep it up.